The demand for smaller-sized cryptocurrency futures is building. Micro Ether futures from CME Group provide market participants an additional choice to manage Ether price risk or fine-tune their Ether exposure. Available at CME Group, a regulated derivatives marketplace, and home to Bitcoin futures and options, Micro Ether futures provide the same features as the larger Ether futures contract, but with a smaller capital requirement. Similar to the larger-sized contracts, Micro Ether futures, ticker symbol MET, is a USD cash-settled contract based on the CME CF Ether dollar reference rate, or ETH USD-RR, which serves as a once-a-day reference rate of the US dollar price of 1 Ether as of 4 p.m. London time. Each day, the Ether dollar reference rate administrator aggregates the trade flow of major Ether spot exchanges during a 1-hour calculation window. This 1-hour window is then partitioned into 12 5-minute intervals, where the Ether dollar reference rate is calculated as the equally weighted average of the volume-weighted medians of all 12 partitions. While the Ether futures contract is equivalent to 50 Ether, the Micro Ether futures contract is equivalent to 1/10 of 1 Ether, making the micro contract 1/500th the size of the larger Ether futures contract. For example, if the price of Ether, as tracked by the Ether dollar reference rate, is $4,000, the notional value of 1 Micro Ether futures contract would be $400. The tick increment of the Micro Ether futures is 1/2 of 1 index point, so a 1-tick move in the Micro Ether is equivalent to 5 cents per contract. This equates to a cost-efficient way to participate in the growing Ether market. Micro Ether futures are listed on the nearest 6 consecutive monthly contracts, inclusive of the nearest 2 December contracts. For example, assume it's January and the 6 consecutive contract months are January, February, March, April, May, and June. In addition, that year's December contract plus next year's December contract will also be listed. As one contract expires, the next contract to complete the 6-month lineup is added. When the December contract expires, the June contract becomes active, in addition to the December contract for the next year. So, at any time, there are 6 consecutive monthly contracts and only 2 December contracts listed. This process continues throughout each year. Micro Ether futures follow the same expiration as the larger contract, expiring the last Friday of the contract month and settling in cash to the Ether dollar reference rate on the last day of trading. Micro Ether futures trade Sunday through Friday, nearly 24 hours per day, and are block trade eligible. At a 500-to-1 ratio, Micro Ether and Ether futures are eligible for margin and risk offsets for those interested in spreading the contracts or using both contracts to access the market or hedge-related Ether exposures. That gives you more flexibility and precision for managing positions as market conditions change, using the contract that best suits your goals and greater access to liquidity. Micro Ether futures join the expanding suite of cryptocurrency products at CME Group, offering another choice for price discovery and risk management in the growing Ether ecosystem.